Greetings everybody, and welcome back to Ascension Arc, the show where I take one of my many unbuilt characters on my account, and I devote a couple of weeks of time to them to make sure that they brought up to a playable status. Last time we had a look at Kaveh, and I'm going to be honest, after having a look at him, I never want to look at him again. This time around, however, we had the vote up, and the vote was, for the first time ever in this series' history, not even close. You got to choose between Sucrose, Goru, Tighnari, and the mystery option, and Tighnari took this vote by an absolute landslide. 880 votes, and 51% of those went to Tighnari, so I'm pretty sure you wanted to see our long-eared friend here. We are, of course, going to reveal the mystery option, which this time was another Dendro character, which would have been Kinich. Kinich on my account is almost fully built as is, so there would be very little to do with him, but I wanted him to bring him in anyway because he still has a little bit of work that I would like to put into him to make him as good as he could possibly be, which is basically the same situation I have with Tighnari. When taking a look at his pre-build stats, you can clearly see that there is a lot of ratings kind of all over the place. Artifact RV is roll value, and Artifact CV is crit value, obviously, and they are not near anything we would want them to be. He is also not level to 90, and this is going to be one of the characters we actually do level to 90, because as a Dendro character, a lot of his damage comes from reactions. His normal attack is not at level 10, and his burst is not at 8, which is also something we are going to be aiming to do, because both of those are very important for Tighnari's kit. The weapon is something we are going to discuss a little bit later, because he just has so many options, man. And most of his artifacts are not very good. I do have a set on him and making him at least playable, but I would like him to be functionally good for the future of this account. Other than that, for Tighnari's kit, for those that aren't aware, Tighnari is a bow-type character that specializes in charge shots. Whenever you use your skill, you throw out that little canister that he is holding, which basically creates a temporary field of gas. Anything inside of that is taunted to attack something that isn't you, and you get 3 charge shots that charge instantly. Tighnari's charge shot is special because when he releases a level 2 charge shot, it releases 3 smaller arrows that also home in on targets and deal a bit of additional damage. His burst is a giant breathing arrow that literally shoots a lot of those small missile arrows we just talked about from his charge shot. He is honestly quite a good character for being on the standard banner. A lot of people underestimate Tighnari, thinking, oh, he's just another standard character, so he's gotta be bad. No, this might just be the best standard character that there is. He is really good. He also has a ton of different weapon options. Obviously, Hunter's Path, his signature weapon, is by far his uncontested best in slot, but you also have all of the Battle Pass weapons, both the Viridescent Hunt and whatever the other one is named that I forget, it'll be on screen. They're great. However, he also has the 5-star standard weapons. The Skyward Harp that we made in the Farazan episode is a decent stat stick for him. The Almost Bow is not a terrible thing either, considering it buffs charge shot, so, you know, it kind of fits into the whole deal. But unironically, one of his best weapons is the rank 5 slingshot. He kind of has the same deal as Sethos, being that you are going to be in melee most of the time and just kind of functioning there. So why not abuse that fact by using the slingshot, which both has the crit stat and powers up your shots as long as you're close. Now, for his team, he does like running Dendro-related reactions, of course. We are going to be focusing on a team based on him as the main DPS, Yaemiko as the sub-DPS, Nahida as a sub-DPS support kinda deal. I'm not entirely sure what to call her here, but she helps with the Dendro application, as well as Zhongli to make sure that nobody explodes. There are a ton of teams you can play Tighnari in, though, so as long as you are willing to, you know, play around with the reactions a little bit, you can fit him with just about anyone that helps the Dendro element. That obviously means that Cryo is basically out and Pyro isn't necessarily that great because of burning, but it is doable. Anyways, with that though, let's take a look at where we're actually standing. My Tighnari at the moment has a 50 to 155 with its current build, and that is not good. We are going to be building the slingshot for him, I have decided. I do have access to an absolute ton of bows. I have the Thundering Pulse, which is a decent stat stick for him. We have the Skyward Harp, of course, from Farazan from the last couple of episodes. The Elegy of the End is also not a terrible option for him if he's running solo Dendro, apparently, which is fun. We have the Almost Bow, which is what I originally wanted to put him on, but I realized that we would have to find so much crit, and in the time I'm, like, allotting to these characters, I don't think that's necessarily doable. So we'll take the easy option out, and I might give him the Almost Bow in the future. We also have access to the Viridescent Hunt, which is a similarly very good weapon to the Slingshot, but its passive is just worse. The passive for the Viridescent Hunt doesn't actually do anything for Tighnari whatsoever, other than do a little burst of damage, but its crit rate is still pretty good. So if I had a second option I would be running today, it'd be this one. I do have access to Scion of the Blazing Sun as the name of that stupid bow, which is a very good weapon because it increases the damage taken by charged attacks, but its crit rate stat is very low. So if you find an incredibly good build for Tighnari, I might just swap him to this off screen and run him with that for the future. You could also run something like the Feathers, but this doesn't actually help him all that much. And lastly, of course, we have the Slingshot, which we are going to be building. 1, because it is very easy to build. It is a 3-star weapon. But 2, it is a legitimately strong option because of that Slingshot passive. That thing, it's 60% extra damage if you do it correctly. And if you screw it up somehow, it only decreases it by 10%. So it's a big decrease, but it's still marginal by comparison. We are, however, going to be running him on Wanderer's Troop. Wanderer's Troop is interesting because it is one of the sets that we cannot actively farm ourselves. It comes from boss drops, which means during this video, we are actually going to be farming other characters and mostly throwing things into the strong box for Tighnari's sake. So it's a bit weird, I know, but there isn't necessarily a lot we can do about that. It's just kind of how it works. Then he is Constellation 0, and his talents currently are 6, 6, and 6, which we are definitely going to be upgrading throughout the course of this video, because I happen to have materials for him. This is one of the other characters where it's just, I just kind of happen to have stuff somehow. I probably collected things throughout playing, because I don't really play a lot of the Sumeru characters. So yeah, we are just going to start off this video immediately by leveling his attack up to 7, attack up to 8, and now we unfortunately have to level him up to do more, but that doesn't matter. We'll also go for the burst. We'll go for 7. And I can actually do this, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to go outside and we're going to craft that. I am, of course, in my teapot, because I am a teapot stan. I still think the teapot is one of the coolest features that Genshin Impact has added ever, and I'm really happy to have it. So we're going to abuse it. Or use it. We're not even abusing, we are just using. Anyway, let's go find Tighnari. Tighnari, we are leveling your elemental burst up, and we need a couple of those. Very cool. So let's really quickly get your burst up also for the easiest upgrade of our lives. There we go. We are going to be working on his normal attack first. It is Sunday today, and that's why we are starting off the way we are doing. However, we are actually be going for the weapon first, because I don't have any weapon materials for this, and the slingshot is surprisingly easy to level, so getting that to 90 should help with the damage a lot, just to kind of have it. Because this is the team that we'll be playing. Yay! Honestly, I think this is one of Tighnari's better teams. My Yayamiko is kind of built. She is decent enough to be used. My Nahida is built, it's just Elemental Mastery, and my Zhongli needs to get his artifacts back, but other than that, he should be fine. Yeah, he doesn't have any artifacts. Let me fix this real quick. No, I actually really like Tighnari. I am happy all of you actually chose this one. This one is great. Tighnari is so much fun. Anyways, cryo damage bonus, who really cares? Tighnari is apparently injured, but whatever. So, the whole team's purpose is that you will set up the Zhongli shield, you will mark things with Nahida, you burst with Nahida, because obviously, you go to Yayamiko and you put out your little things, and then Tighnari throws his little canister, and you fire 3 charge shots. You then burst, and you swap out and do it all again. It is so satisfying to do, because it just feels powerful. You do this, 1, 2, 3, you burst. Like, it's so satisfying. Now, unfortunately, we were in space for this, but whatever. 1, no crit, 2, 3, do the burst. Like, do you see how satisfying that is? But yes, this is basically a quick swap Tighnari team, I suppose, because you are kind of just doing everything you need to do and then tagging them out. But it just works so well. Man, this is awesome. Anyway, we're going to use the condensed resin that we had to get some weapon materials for this. That is very, very nice. Now, arguably, you should probably be bursting with Yae Miko also, but because these are mostly electro-immune, I felt like it wasn't really a point to doing that. Also, I don't think I have leveled my Yae Miko's burst at all, now that I'm thinking about it. So, you know, I'm probably not going to do that. Not yet, at least. We'll get a Yae Miko sewed one day, and then I'll do it. Do another one. Another purple is very, very nice. I'd like to see far more of those, though. We're gonna need some oranges as well for this. I'm so happy to be playing a character that actually does something and doesn't make me want to cry every day. But yeah, we got plenty of materials from here today. We're gonna see if we can't level up that weapon really quickly. Let's see what you need. You need blues, which you got plenty of. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. Get that in there. We got 1 level. Now we got up to 60. We've got enough to do it to 70. We're doing it to 70. Bada bing. Do we have enough to do this? We do if we craft a little bit. That's great. Let's go do that real quick then. All right, and that is the weapon ascended up to 80. The crit rate just keeps going up, which is awesome. Now, unfortunately, we do need to get 3 of these, which we do not have, which is bad. I would have really liked to finish this today. That would have been great. We're just going to upgrade everything we've got, I guess. I only have Mona for these, so that's whatever. There we go. We can make 1. We can also create all of these that we need to make. There we go. So now the only thing we're really missing for the slingshot is these. We'll do it on another day, but we are definitely going to be able to get there, so I'm not going to be too worried about that. Other than that, once that is done, I don't know what day his talent material is on. It is on Mondays, so I can actually farm those tomorrow. And the slingshot material is on... it's all Mondays. That's not necessarily that good, but that's fine. Because when that is done, if both of those are on Mondays, we are just going to be doing artifacts throughout the rest of the days. So we'll probably be jumping around in this episode like we usually do, and we'll go for there. For now, though, that's everything for today, so I'll see you tomorrow. It's day 2. We've got a pocket full of resin, and we are going to try and bring the weapon up to level 90 today. Because you know what? I kind of just want to have it done. Right, if we could get some yellows and purples here, that would be tremendous. That is technically 3 purple, so that is a, that is 1 yellow. And I believe we only need 1 more, because again, this is a 3-star weapon, so they're actually surprisingly easy to level up. I'm gonna be real, after having played Kaveh for nearly 3 weeks straight, I am so happy to be playing a character that can actually deal any significant amount of damage now. I think we have enough at this point to actually craft up what we need, so we're gonna go have a look. And if that is the case, we are going to go do the talent domain, which also happens to be open on Mondays. Oh, Mona actually came in clutch and saved us one there. That's nice. Anyway, yeah, that should be the weapon completed. So let's ascend this really quickly to get the maxed out slingshot. 31% crit, and yes, the base attack on it is fairly low comparatively to some of the other weapons. Again, we can just pull up literally anything. Like this is 457 at level 70, so obviously this is way, way less. But the benefit of it is that it has an incredibly high crit rate. The Veritas Hunt is the only other one that even comes close, but it has a worse passive than the slingshot does, because 60% damage is actually quite a lot. Regardless, we do need to work on the normal attack, so we need to go farm the philosophies of admonition. So I guess that's what we're doing for the rest of the day. It's the same thing as always. The more purpose we get, the better. Oh, we can absolutely deal with these finally. I've done this so many times now for different characters, and none of them have actually been actively able to deal with these. And now we finally have some. Is that 26k per shot? That's actually kind of cracked. 26k on a normal shot? That's crazy. Wait. Okay, not a crit. Not a crit. Oh, we didn't crit on any of those. That's unfortunate. Man, Tighnari actually kind of hurts. Who could have guessed? Anyways. Purples? No, of course not. All right, 1 purple, very cool. So I guess we really do need to be standing right in melee for the crit increase to go off with this, because 0.3 seconds is not much. We're essentially in melee range the entire time. I'm gonna be honest, that is not something I particularly enjoy, because that means you are, again, up in the face of whatever you are fighting, which is not super great. I am much more, like, if I'm playing a charge shot archer, I don't want to be standing next to something. And we are going to have to fight the Jade Plume Terror Shroom. Honestly, one of the better bosses in Sumeru, I suppose. Because this one isn't a complete butthole to fight all the time. So I will happily deal with him. Because I'm not entirely sure how close I have to be for Slingshot to actually count. I don't know how it works at all. But hey, the boss is dead, so we're happy. I need to learn what the distance is, because if you do this, 0.3 seconds isn't a lot. So like I don't know what the actual restriction for the slingshot is. I'm gonna be real here. But we defeated the boss at the very least. We're gonna grab ourselves one of the set pieces that we actually, like, this is what we are going for. So, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But yeah, the Dawn Light, that wasn't as terrible, but we did get 3 at least, so that's nice. Wow, that is a good feather if that feather was orange. How unfortunate. Oh well. We'll come back here tomorrow and we'll continue doing the rest. All right, we're back once again to do a couple of more kills for the Jade Plume. We need 15 more drops to get the Ascension going. So we're gonna see how many we can get today. We're hoping to get all of them, but statistically that's gonna be quite hard. There is kill number 1. That is not a good goblet. There is kill number 2. Unfortunately, that is the wrong set, but I guess we take what we can get. There is kill number 3. Sad thing, that is the wrong set again, but at least we are getting some materials here. I think that if we spend everything we've got here, we should have enough by the end. We'll get 3 and 3, so yeah, no matter what here, we should have just enough. Ooh, that's really good, actually. Gemstones I will happily take any day of the week. Those are super rare. That's not a half bad feather either if this ends up rolling crit rates. I'll keep that just in case, but that's awesome. And there is the final kill for today, which is basically all of our resin, but at the very least now we have everything we need to ascend him upwards. We're gonna go look and see for the crafting stuff as well, because I'm not entirely sure how much of everything I've got, but only one way to find out. Right, so we do have quite a few of these that we can upgrade up at the very least, so that's good. So let's craft up 7 of these. We can craft 3 entire ones of this, actually. That's not half bad, which means we are only going to need to transform 2 of them. What do I have that's transformable right now? Because it's probably not a lot. I'm running out of stuff to transform here very quickly, I'm noticing. That's a bit unfortunate. We have a ton of Hydro ones here, so honestly the Dust of N'Zoth is very cheap, or Dust of, what is it, Azoth, not N'Zoth. N'Zoth is Heartstone. Let's transform those. I don't know how many of them we necessarily needed, but I think we did enough there. We sure did. That is 2 more gemstones, all complete. Then we have to look for these ones, which we are going to need an absolute butt ton of. We're gonna swap to Sucrose. That's not great. We're gonna swap to Sucrose here as well. Come in handy. Oh, we're still a couple short. I don't know if we can exchange for these. Yes, we can. I'm going to do exactly that because I don't want to farm mushrooms. Mushroom farming sucks in particular because there's 2 types of drops you can get from them. One of them being the normal pollen one, and one of them being like the destroyed version of them. Anyways, we got everything we needed from there now, which is great, because that means the only thing I have left to do is go farm the lotuses, and then Tighnari will actually be ready to ascend. So I do believe there are an absolute butt ton of these that I remember on the map, so we should be able to collect all 60 today. And if we don't for some reason, I don't know, call me stupid in the comments, because that's definitely my fault if I screwed this up. Alright, about 20 minutes or so later of running around, we've gathered everything we need to ascend Tighnari up to 80. Now, unfortunately, Tighnari is one of those characters who happens to be Dendro, meaning that level 90 is actually quite a big deal for him. So I will be spending an absolutely astonishing amount of everything to max him out. I don't like doing that, but it is a necessity. So the thing we still need to do is we still need to farm more. Actually, no, we can do this. I remember. Yeah, but we're out of this stuff, unfortunately, so I'd have to farm mushrooms if I want to do that. And we'd still have to do her boss for this week, and we can't do that anyway. So I guess we can't really do anything with this, but we do have quite a few philosophies of admonition. But we still need to farm these, and that is on Thursday. Today is Tuesday, for those that do not know, which would be all of you. Why am I saying that like you would? So we have a couple of other things we can do. The only real thing left now with the stuff that we have is to farm artifacts. And of course, because we are playing Tighnari, we want boss artifacts. Meaning we're free to kind of farm whatever we want in terms of artifacts, really. We don't really have any other bosses that I want to farm. And of course, bosses only drop one thing per kill. So it's not necessarily even worth doing that. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to spend the time farming the one domain that I cannot currently strongbox, which is the plunging domain for Varessa, and Skirk's artifacts, which I still don't have. So why not? I mean, if there is anything I love, it is multitasking. So being able to farm for other characters while still getting something beneficial for Tighnari would be great. This is also why I kind of allowed Tighnari to use his old artifacts, because I'm gonna be real here. If I didn't, being able to farm these artifacts at what is essentially a third of the speed you normally would did not seem fair. Like, imagine yourself, you just have to... You basically have to kill bosses to get one artifact instead of the normal two that could have the chance to be good, and then strongbox, and now the only opportunity we have is a strongbox! Yeah, I know that explanation didn't make sense, but just trust me, it made sense in my head. This boss isn't that fun to fight with Tighnari, although all things considered, but... I'm gonna be real, 24k is not a half bad hit, honestly. What does the burst do? I mean, yeah. That's not bad. Ow, that is, though. I still need to get used to doing rotations with this team, because I'm not really there yet, as you can clearly see, but... Also, I did not hold that for long enough, but whatever. I'm not really there yet to learn how this all works, but I will say I am enjoying the playstyle a lot. It is very fun. We have 3 of these to use. No, these are, of course, completely unimportant for this video, but I'll still pop in and, you know, tell you if I get anything interesting. But if I don't, you're just gonna see the strongboxing part from now on. But, you know, if there's something interesting, I'll show it. That's potentially interesting for Skirk, actually. I don't think I've ever seen 4 artifacts like this before. This is completely new. It's a darn shame none of them are very good, but I'm still kind of impressed. Like, I haven't seen that. This could potentially be a good Skirk piece, I guess. That's super interesting. Alright, last thing we'll do for today then is we'll strongbox whatever we have as leftovers. We've got, ooh, could have been good, but unfortunately not. That is a very good flower. We're gonna roll that for sure. The rest of these are not very good, though. And another flower that we don't need. No, but that one flower there, I will happily roll that. That could turn out really well. Let's have a look at his current flower as well, because I'm not entirely sure what he's rocking right now. This one is 11% crit damage, 7% crit rate, which isn't exactly that good, but all of these stats are very beneficial, so I would not mind this one at all. If this rolls Elemental Mastery, that would be the best, I think. Defense isn't good, obviously, but we're mostly looking for crit stats anyway, so we'll see what we get. Crit rate's very good. Defense is less so. I'll still keep rolling it up to 16 at least. We'll see how that goes, and if it doesn't do well after that, I'll just throw it away. No, that's not really an upgrade to the piece I already have, and the piece I already have isn't very good. So, we'll leave this one as it is. Unfortunate, but there'll be more chances, I'm sure. It's day 4, and we're doing some talent stuff today, because, you know, it's Thursday, I can do that. Purples? Hey! I don't know where all this energy recharge is coming from, but I'm taking it. No purple. Purples, please. And we have purples, please. Wow, stingy today, aren't we? Okay, it is day 7 now. It's been a week of me building Tighnari, and as I said, most of what I've been doing is just kind of doing artifacts off screen. I haven't actually gotten a singular good piece except for one, so I figured I'd show that off, because honestly, it was pretty good. Where is Skirk? Where'd you go? Where'd you go, Skirk? Not that this is Skirk's building video or anything, but we did in fact get one good piece here, and that was a feather, which rolled half decent, honestly. I'm not entirely upset about this one. It isn't the greatest, but it is certainly there. We also got a bad feather, and yeah, honestly, that's about it. We haven't really gotten any hits other than that. But today, it is finally Sunday, so we can once again go work on the final thing we need to do for Tighnari, which is his normal attack. We are running out of Mora very quickly, as you can see, so I'm going to have to do some Mora farming off screen as well, but we can at least level his normal attack to 9, and our intention today is to get the final 3 philosophies of admonition that we are going to need for this build to crown his normal attack, because let's be honest here, his normal attack is outstanding. It is going to be a very expensive Mora thing though, so we're going to need basically a full day's worth of Mora just to do that. But, yeah, you know, it is what it is. So I'm just going to hop into this really quickly. We're going to do as many as we need. I guess we only need 3, and after we have 3, we are actually just done. Like, we do not need any more. So if there's anything left after that, I'll do artifacts, and then we're going to do a strongbox. And voila, we have enough. Now, the only thing we need now is boss materials, which, unfortunately, I could not get off screen. I did get a singular dream solvent that I used in order to do that. So next week we're probably going to have to farm for dream solvents as well so we can transform some of the other pieces. Other than that though, I'm going to go back to the Skirk domain. I'm going to see if we can farm something fun, and if we don't, then we are going to strongbox everything that sucks. Alright then, we are at the strongbox, and we've got 31 pieces. I think we actually have some more because it doesn't pick the leveled ones that I have tried to level up. So this feather I don't really care about, neither do this, none of that, but the rest of these I'm keeping for material XP if in case we need it. We've got 34 pieces that we're going to throw into the Wanderer's Troop. See what we get here. This is a Dendro damage bonus, but sadly everything on it is just bad, so we're not going to do that. Attack percent is whatever. We got a feather that has nothing useful. HP we don't care about. Healing bonus is a no-no. This one's not good either. Neither is this one. No. No. HP with double crit is funny. HP with another, like, useful one is funny, but no, first one, nothing there. We'll do it again. Anything? Nope. Nope. The HP again. It really wants to give me HP pieces. Let's do it one more time. Nah, that ain't anything good. Well, unfortunately, that is the first one that we have with it, and I guess we didn't get anything, but such is the way sometimes. It is going to be way more farming in this video, but the positive thing about this is that now I can kind of just skip around, so from now on, you're probably just going to see us back here at the strongbox again whenever we have something to strongbox. Because generally speaking, Tighnari's other build is, like, basically done. Like, we are bringing up the normal attack to level 10 when we can, and the last thing we need, of course, is the bosses, which will reset tomorrow, so I'm going to run it and see if we can get it. If we do get it, then, you know, we need to farm Mora because our Mora situation is looking dire, so I'll do that off-screen also. So when we come back, I'll have enough Mora to actually ascend. We'll have the 2 pieces, hopefully, and I hope I have something with Strongbox so we can improve this a little bit, because it is still sitting around the same, and that's kind of lame. Alright, I am now in day, I don't really know anymore. I kind of honestly lost track here, but that doesn't matter all that much. I have finally today had enough resin to get our Tighnari's skill crown. That is an insane amount of Mora used, but to be perfectly honest, I think he kind of deserves it. Tighnari has been shockingly fun to play over this last couple of days. We basically shoved into our Mora stack once again. Also, this is a half-dead Knight team. Don't worry about it. The whole reason, look, this is going to be really hard to explain, but the new patch hit like a day ago. I've been exploring a lot, and Knight just happened to be really, really good at exploring for the most part. He kind of does the whole new area by himself. Now, we're quickly going to check in here. I haven't really done a lot of artifacting, but we're going to throw in whatever we've got. There's also a couple of pieces that I attempted to level to like 4 and whatever that didn't really go anywhere. Like, I know it's locked. Thank you, go away. This one is like okay, but I guess I'll keep this one just for now. There's also this feather that did not work out that we can throw in, and this Dendro goblet that I got that we are not going to be keeping. So we're going to see if we can get any improvement here whatsoever. That'd be nice. That is a lot of goblets. Cryo damage bonus I don't need. Another cryo damage bonus I don't need. Dendro damage bonus with a single crit rate on it is almost usable only because it's on set. We'll roll it and see if it goes anywhere. An attack with crit damage but nothing else is sad. HP hat I don't want. No. Nope. Definitely no. That is attack with crit damage. This could potentially roll well. We'll see the other one there too, just in case. We'll throw them back in again, do another round. Nope. And nope. And we'll throw them in again. And get a fat stack of nope. Shocking surprise, we didn't actually get anything there, but if we don't end up getting a single artifact in this, that's whatever. Also, I don't really like the update they did. Now you can see if you have multiple good rolls in a stat your character uses, it's not going to be like this golden glow thing. I don't really know if I like it that much. This, on the other hand, though, is okay for being a full power Saiyans because it has both of our substats. We actually have 2 of these, both of them attack. I'm going to be rolling both of them. If one of these hits crit rate, that would be good. That one did not. We'll try doing it in this one also and see if this can hit crit rate. It hit EM, which I don't need that much by comparison because it already has EM. So unfortunately, both of these are kind of duds. Shocking surprise. I am curious. You have to keep in mind, this is the Dendro Goblet I am currently using here. It's not honestly good. It's kind of awful. It is what it is. This could roll a higher crit rate, which could balance things out. It's also on set again, and it being on set is very important. So we'll throw these 2 in here. See what that does. That, okay. Well, if you're going to start off okay, you're going to end off being awful. I'll go to 12, and if it goes EM or crit rate, I'll keep it. Oh, that's like actually kind of good. We'll keep going. EM or CR is acceptable here. I'll say CR is the best still. I'll go. It's alternated for a while now, right? So I'll bring it up to full dose. And if it's awful, you know, then it's awful. The Dendro one, we can't do anything about it. It's on set. And here we go. I have a couple of these, but actually the feather he has isn't even leveled. So, because this feather isn't awful, this one isn't awful either. If this rolls crit damage, it did not. Shocker. Let's just go on to this one really quickly. Unlock that. For some reason, I don't have a feather that has all of our substats, which is really funny to me. EM crit damage. This still isn't very good, but it's at least okay. Because the problem is, like, I don't really have any other Dendro one that I kind of want to do. I have a ton of feathers, theoretically, but when was the last time you offsetted a feather? I think we could offset this instead and just use... Because I have a couple of the ones that are here that could be usable. Maybe. Loren's one is obviously very good, but again, we want to avoid stealing from people as much as possible. I know, but I at least want to give him a go, man. The fact that he's on full Wanderer's Troop now is kind of funny, though. 66 to 142. So bad, though. I think I have a solution for this, and it is something that I am willing to do. So I think we're going to access the small stockpile of artifact transmuting. I want to give him at least one good piece. And I don't really mind using this that much because I very rarely use it for anything. I am willing to make an absolutely kick-ass feather. It only costs 1 anyway, so like, fuck it, whatever. And everyone's gonna look at this and go, holy shit, he's fucking stupid. And like, yeah, I am. So what? Wanna fight about it? I'm willing to do it. In fact, I'm just gonna do it. Ooh, that's not bad at all. I will happily give him at least 1 upgrade. I want him to do something. We're gonna swap to this one. This could be really good. We know that 2 of them are gonna go in here, but attack is also very, very good, so... shove that in there. See what happens. You've gotta be... I mean, okay. Here's the thing. Nothing there is technically dead. I'm not upset about that at all. 2 crit damage, this is the stat we probably wanted the most. Attack is okay, and energy recharge is not a dead stat. So, that's an upgrade. 70 to 155 isn't terrible. It's not good, but like I can accept that. That's fine. Alright then, today is the final day of Tighnari, and we only really have one thing left to do. We've got 27 more artifacts to throw into the strongbox for our guy. Hopefully picking up, I think an attack stance is what we really want here, but it is looking very bleak. Physical damage bonus is funny. This is not an upgrade. That is not an upgrade. Neither is that. No. Could have been, but is pretty much not, because I think our flower is just better. I mean, I'll roll this, and if it goes attack and crit only, we'll consider it, but I don't think that's going to help us much. We'll throw these in. We have a Dendro bonus goblet again, but this one without any crit whatsoever, so it's just bad. And a flower that's not there. Let's throw them back in. One last. I mean, look. If attack percent on head was actually very good, we would have used it, but, you know, sadly it is not. We'll have a look at the flower, because I don't remember what Tighnari's flower was. It's crit EM, which is actually very good, so unless this rolls ridiculously high, I don't think we're going to use it, because right now we're sitting on 70% crit, and losing 7% of that is, like, really bad. I'll still roll it, because it's a little bit fun. Oh, okay. Okay. You can stop now. That's not the worst. Okay. Ooh. 19% attack is a lot. It does also have more crit damage than the other one. Problem is that puts us at 63, which is very, very low, but 177. And what is our attack at? 1400? That's actually really low, but what are we supposed to do about that, really? If I swap that back to this, we go down to 1200 attack. I don't know which one I would rather do here. I think the one with crit is unfortunately more important, but I will keep that other flower because that's not terrible. That could be useful for someone else, but I think Tighnari in particular needs the crit rate, unfortunately. So, you know, no real upgrades after that, but we have actually done quite a bit of work on Tighnari, so I'm kind of ready to present him, I think. Let's do one quick little DPS test for our boy, though, because let's be honest, he kind of deserves it. All right, then, and because, once again, we have a Dendro character to test out, I have decided to go to He Never Dies, because he doesn't have any obscene resistances or anything. He just hits really hard, which I think we can kind of test on for the time being. So, for Tighnari, we are running the same thing we did before. We're going to go Zhongli, we're going to go Nahida, we're going to burst with Nahida, tag into Yayamiko, do our 3 things, burst with Tighnari. That's quite a bit. 34k! That's not bad at all. I'm going to be real, hitting 34k. I believe he gets damage resistances here. Yes, he does. Oh, there's another 34. I mean, okay. I mean, we died. That's fine. I don't care about that at all. Holy shit, 34k on each charge shot. That's not bad at all. That's actually really good. I'm okay with that. Yeah, let's go present Tighnari, I guess. That's super cool. Well, congratulations, Tighnari. You have successfully passed the Ascension Arc. You didn't exactly need that much work to begin with because I basically had you at a decent state when we started, but the work that we actually put in has pushed you quite a little bit over the top. I will say that 34k per charge attack is not half bad. That means that every rotation he's doing roughly 100k with his 3 shots, plus the damage from his grenade and plus the damage from his burst. So say like 125, 135 something per rotation, which honestly is surprisingly good for a standard banner character. Like, Tighnari has been shocking when I've played him throughout the couple of weeks now, that he's just really fun. You can stick him on field forever and just hold down your button and shoot arrows, or do the quick play style or whatever you want to call it that I've been doing, and he just kind of works. It's just good. I get that he's Dendro, so he has a very easy time with reactions and stuff, but he's really fun. Now, we are going to look over the cards, of course, here, and we started with a score of C on Tighnari, and we ended up with a total score of A, 90%. The artifact RV score got bumped up to a B for 81%, which is still a little bit bad. Of course, we did not really get any major upgrades. Our level score is now S, talent score is S, weapon score is S, and we have the recommended constellation met because we did that from the start also. The good part about this is that with Tighnari, you can kind of just passively gain artifacts for him. But honestly, let's go with the pros and cons so you can kind of understand my thoughts about this character. Now, Tighnari's been a super fun experience, and that kind of reflects in his roundup too. For Tighnari, he is possibly the best standard banner character that you could possibly get, and if you have to lose a 50-50, losing it to Tighnari is basically not a real loss. Tighnari could be considered to just be a 5-star character, and for most of the standard characters, that is a very big compliment to receive. He also has an absolute ton of weapon choices. Whatever you have available will probably work for him, so you don't have to go out of your way to get a signature weapon or, you know, literally anything, because as we've seen, the slingshot can do perfectly fine. He also has an incredibly satisfying gameplay loop. It feels really good to perform everything he needs to do, because it is both interactive, in that the fact that you actually get to play the character and not just press a single button, but it also feels really good to hit the shots and see the numbers pop up. It's just really good. He also has surprisingly high damage for a standard banner character. Again, he just feels like he's a proper 5-star. Yes, age has definitely not been kind to him because there are now much better options for him, but that doesn't deny the fact that he actually can hit numbers, and if you brought him into the Abyss as like a proper team, I'm pretty sure you could easily beat most Abysses with him. It's really nice. One of my favorite things about him, though, is the fact that you can passively build this character, because one of his best sets, being Wanderer's Troop, is available to you by just defeating any boss. Meaning that if you are building another character and you happen to get a good piece, you could just roll it for Tighnari and he might get an upgrade when you didn't even intend to build him that much. It's actually really nice. He's also very easy to ascend. He has one of the easiest ascension materials to get. You literally just run around the overworld in Sumeru, and there are like 9 or 10 of them in every area they spawn. It's great. He also has a ton of team options because of the fact that he is Dendro, so of course any Hydro or Electro unit you happen to have can work with Tighnari. But I think the biggest benefit of Tighnari as a whole is that he is perfectly usable at Constellation 0. You do not need multiple constellations to make Tighnari work. More constellations simply increase his performance. It's not like with some characters where C1 or C2 is an absolute necessity for them to perform the way they're supposed to. Tighnari just works right out of the box. He isn't perfect, though. For Tighnari, you are required to have fairly good aim, more so if you're playing the long-range playstyle, and it's slightly easier if you're playing Slingshot. But if you miss one of your arrows, specifically your free charge arrows that you get off of his skill, that is a third of your DPS gone. You really need to hit those, and you really want them to hit hard. So the weird tracking issue on your burst and wreath arrows, sometimes they just kind of fly off into space and do whatever on earth they feel like, and you could be standing dead center in front of an enemy and the wreath arrows still manage to miss somehow. It is a little bit annoying, but it is something you can kind of play around by positioning. It sucks, but I'm going to count it as a negative because that shouldn't be a thing. And there is one more thing I haven't really talked about in this episode, because obviously we were playing one of Tighnari's premium teams. His DPS falls off significantly if you are not playing one of the premium teams. I think his best free-to-play team is Tighnari, Fischl, some Dendrophil like Kirara or Yao Yao, and then an Electrophil like Kuki. I think. Don't quote me on this because I don't have the list open and I don't remember. But I know that the DPS of those teams is just significantly lower than the ones you can achieve with premium teams. It's still workable, don't get me wrong, but the comparison between the two is actually fairly large, both in how comfortable they are to play, but also in the amount of damage that Tighnari actually gets to do. It's a little bit of a shame, but you can kind of wiggle around with it. The team that I played, obviously, is one of the better ones, but it is not the best, I don't think. I would happily swap out Yayamiko for Fischl, I think. Or maybe run both Yayamiko and Fischl, honestly, and then just not run Nahida and run someone else. I don't really know. There's a lot of room for experimentation, and that's what makes Tighnari really, really good. But yeah, that is going to be everything for Tighnari. Now, as with all of these episodes, the vote for the next character has already been put up, but I'm going to cover it here anyway, just in case you haven't seen it yet. For the vote this time around, we have gathered our 4 contestants, and we are starting with Ayato once again. Ayato was shuffled back into the deck, and we get to see him once more, and this time I'm hoping he does well. He lost last time to Kaveh, because let's be honest here, who was going to beat Kaveh? But I really want to be able to build Ayato at some point. Ayato is probably the most versatile character in the entire game, and I just kind of want to show him off. Not a lot of people play him these days. We then have Raiden Shogun. Ooh, this is an interesting one, because Raiden Shogun to me has always been a Hyper Bloom driver, and I've pretty much not used her as anything else. What I'd want to do is build Raiden Shogun as an actual DPS carry, and see if she still holds up today. That would be interesting. Third off, we've got Yanfei. Yanfei is one of those characters that I wanted to build for a very, very long time because her playstyle is very interesting. She literally just throws firebombs at people and it's quite fun, but I haven't sat down and actually built her yet, so that would be an interesting one too. And lastly, of course, we have the mystery option if none of these are to your liking, which this time is a Geo character. I do have quite a few Geo characters on my account that aren't built yet, so this one could be interesting, to say the least. But if you haven't voted yet, of course, the link to vote is down in the description below. You can just go down there and click it, and you get to vote for whoever is next. If you're a YouTube member, you also get a vote where your vote count is triple in case you want to do that. So, you know, that's always fun. You also get to support me, and that'd be really kind of you. Anyways, though, I'm not going to talk on for much longer with this video. Tighnari was a massive success, and I'd like to thank all of you for voting for him. Until next time.